Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel where we talk about real crimes and real people. We have cases that will make you angry, cases that will make you cry, and also cases that will make you want to punch somebody in the face. So my question is, what does this case makes you want to do? Don't forget to subscribe and all the shenanigans YouTube asks you to do to support content creators. So for today, I bring you the murder of Naledi Lethoba, a young girl from South Africa who fell victim of an enraged boyfriend or ex-boyfriend. I really want you to pay attention, especially the motive for her death. There are two versions, one from the killer and one from friends of Naledi. So, considering the crime, and I mean how things happened, tell me, what do you think the real motive is and why? Let's get started. At the time of her death, Naledi Lethoba was 21 years old. She had 3 siblings. Her parents had a family home in Bothaville, Free State. Her father described her as considerate. She was a good child. She liked nice food and clothes. Her father also stated Naledi wanted to make her family proud. Her mother called Naledi a pillar of strength. She was her best friend. Naledi was someone with ambition. She didn't want just to settle down, marry, have kids. Naledi wanted to further her studies. She was a student at the Goldsfield TVET College. She was in her 2nd year in management and she wanted to enroll for a teaching degree in university. But her plans didn't work out because someone else stopped them in a deadly way. So on May 19, 2019, a body was discovered in an open field in Dagbreek. But because of the state of the body, they couldn't identify it. They only knew it was a woman. Her body was naked, she had a knife stuck in her neck, both her breasts were cut off, and she had been set on fire, so her lower body and face was burned. The woman was named Jane Doe. So by the time the body of Jane Doe was discovered, Naledi Lethoba was reported missing. Her mother and aunt went to check the body of Jane Doe to see if they recognized it and ruled out Naledi. But things became a mother's nightmare. When she checked the body, despite it wasn't recognizable, Mvo Nyakane, Naledi's mother, recognized there was a silver and golden teeth in her body. Jane Doe was actually Naledi Lethoba. That's how her mother recognized her, by her teeth, her silver and golden teeth. Naledi had been murdered, but by whom? News broke out about the death of Naledi and that the body had been discovered. So after confessing to the family, a boy named Obed Leshore was taken to the police and turned himself in for the death of Naledi Lethoba. He had killed Naledi. And he had a reason. He had a motive. And please pay attention to his reasons. But who was Obed Leshore and what was his connection to Naledi? Obed Leshore was a 19-year-old boy. He was from Nordeville in Welcome. He was described as quiet and harmless. Obed was a student at ICALC Training Academy in Welcome. Obed and Naledi didn't attend the same school. Word on the street, the two of them were in a relationship. Some people stated Naledi didn't want to be in a relationship with him anymore, and that's why he did it. Version number 1. That's why he killed Naledi. But let's take a look at what he said and why he killed her. Obed said in that day he had confronted Naledi about her cheating on him, and then Naledi confirmed she had indeed cheated on him. So he got angry and left, and later on he killed her. So basically the reason why he killed Naledi was because of her actions. She cheated, he killed her. So basically this is a typical way of defending someone. You trash the victim's character. What do you think? Do you think he killed her because she didn't want to be with him or because she cheated on him? Either way, the woman did something to the man, and that's a big no-no. You don't do anything to the man. The man controls everything. Moving on. While confessing to killing Naledi, Obed stated that after he left angry, he took his father Baki. He called Naledi. He said he was coming to see her. He picked her up and he drove to a field in Dagbreak. He stopped the car in a quiet neighborhood. Obed and Naledi had an argument, and that's when Obed stabbed Naledi in the chest. Naledi grabbed the knife, he got the knife back, and he stabbed her over and over and over again. He then put the body in the back of the Baki. He went to a gas station and bought fuel. He then put the body in the bushes and set it on fire. Needless to say, he forgot to mention Naledi had a knife stuck in her neck and her breasts were cut off. Was Naledi's death about honor, shame, or control and selfishness? In my opinion, allegedly, he killed Naledi because she didn't want to be with him. When he went to pick her up, he already knew what he was going to do. He was going to kill her. So why would he have a knife on him? He already knew. So I believe, to lighten up his responsibility of his actions, he trashed her character. He said she cheated on him. So him killing her is excusable. It doesn't matter where you live in this world. Crimes against women, violence against women is excusable. I also believe there's more to this relationship. There's a deeper background. There's a story. And I wouldn't be surprised if there was any kind of abuse, allegedly. And people, if you end a relationship, especially a violent one, don't ever go meet that person ever again after the relationship ended. Ever. I need to talk to you. Can we meet such and such? Don't do it. Most likely the end game is if I can have you, nobody can. Well, moving on with Naledi's story. Before going to trial, Obed chose to skip bail and remain in jail. The community was shocked and outraged. They were angry and took it to social media. Obed's trial was delayed, but eventually he was sentenced to 15 years in prison. And obviously the punishment wasn't enough. Naledi was brutally killed. Her body was disposed and burned. This wasn't an accident. It was premeditated. Well, a few years ago, I learned a girl who attended the same school as I did was killed by her boyfriend, ex-boyfriend. She started dating a guy in high school. They eventually went to the same college and got the same degree. But because college was far from where they lived, they were roommates. They lived together during their college years. And when I learned the news about her death, it became public that during their college years, he used to beat her up. She was a victim of domestic violence. They returned home, she ended the relationship for good, and he didn't accept very well. Then one day, he asked her to meet so they could talk, and unfortunately she did. He had a knife. He took a knife. He knew what he was doing. They were in the car, and he stabbed her over and over and over. He then left her there, bleeding to death. He threw the knife out. He got home and told his parents what he had done. His parents took him to the police station. He got 25 years in prison, the maximum where I live. For me, this was about control, possession. He didn't control her anymore. So he did the typical, if I can't have you, nobody can. In my honest opinion, that guy firmly believed he owned her life. So when she made a decision to end it, he punished her brutally. And that's why I think there's more to the story of the relationship between Naledi and Obed. There's a lot of similarities, and I'm sure you have heard of cases like this before. And that's why I say, if the relationship ended, close that chapter. Don't try to be friends. Just walk away and never look back.